everybody. Welcome to Monday Morning Must Knows. My name is Merlin Rothfeld, and here are 3 important things to pay attention to for the upcoming trading week. Now, last week, no surprise, it was all about earnings, and Thursday was a motherload of earnings. You had Apple missing earnings and taking a dive pre-market, and then rallying and posting nice gains on Friday. Amazon beating earnings and taking a nosedive, and then Google, or Alphabet, they missed earnings and had all kinds of choppy action. So big swings on Friday because of those Thursday earnings, and we'll start there. Are we going to see some major names that could steer this market coming up this trading week? Well, the answer is, I don't know. What I do know is there are no major names like Google, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, or anything like that, but we do have some names that might be in your portfolio. So let's start things off with our Monday session. Now, the good news is there's quite a bit more earnings. You have 726 companies reporting this week. Monday, we start things off with Activision, Take-Two Interactive, Skyworks, On Networks, and Tyson Foods. Tuesday brings you BP, Vertex, Illumina, and Prudential Financial. Wednesday, CVS, Disney, Dominion Resources, and Chicago Mercantile Exchange, or CME Group. Thursday, you have CGC and ACB. Those are cannabis companies. You have Philip Morris, AbbVie, Duke Energy, and PepsiCo. And on Friday, one straggler, Enbridge, will be reporting earnings on Friday. So as you can see, no monster groundbreaking names, none of the top of the indexes of the NASDAQ, S&P, or the Dow, but still some names which may be in your portfolio and carry a little bit of weight and, of course, add volatility to this market. Now, last week we talked about central banks. You have the U.S. Central Bank, you had the European Central Bank, you had other central banks reporting and making rate announcements, which most of them were hiking 25 to 50 basis points. This week, it's still about central banks. This time, we're going to go to the Southern Hemisphere, going to Australia, the Reserve Bank of Australia to be precise, Monday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the markets will be closed. They're expected to go from 3.1% up to 3.35%. Now, that's a 25 basis point increase, and as we know, most central banks are raising their rates right now. But there are rumors that the Reserve Bank of Australia may not raise 25 basis points. I'm hearing anywhere between 0, because some economies feel that they're doing better and inflation's under control, or I'm also hearing 50 because inflation may not be under control. At this point, kind of a toss-up here, but the general expectation is they're going to see 25 basis point increase for the Australian dollar, done by the Reserve Bank of Australia. Now, here's what the chart of the interest rates for Australia look like. You can see that really starting in mid-2022, aggressive raising, getting back to some of those levels that Australia has not seen since 2012. And is that going to slow down or not? We don't know. Right now, the trend seems to be raise rates as high as possible without crushing the economy down there in the Southern Hemisphere of Australia. All right, moving on to the final piece. Obviously, central banks are very important, and Jerome Powell is arguably the most powerful person in the world because he's really dictating monetary, in some cases, fiscal policy. So we move back to Jerome Powell here, which is going to be speaking at the Economic Club of Washington. Now, this may not be the most groundbreaking presentation. However, anytime this man speaks, it creates waves in the market. So it's very important that you are aware when this comes out. And that will be Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Call it a lunchtime shock to the system. If you know, the markets close at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so this will be at noon. It'll be right in the middle of the day. Normally, the middle of the day is a rather quiet period. You don't see a lot of action. This could change that on Tuesday. So just be aware of it. Put a little sticky post-it note on your computer screen as you're trading saying, hey, be careful. Tuesday at noon, you could see big swings because he's not expected to say anything shocking. However, a lot of times he gets grilled, he gets questions. He might say something that gives more clues as to what the Fed's policy is with regards to interest rates going forward. That, my friends, is your Monday Morning Must Knows. We'll see you next week.